In Solo Leveling Season 2 Episode 8, after Jinwoo returns to Demon Castle to clear out the remaining floors and get his hands on the Elixir of Life, he spread out his shadows in groups and started clearing out the floor, but then he came across some demon knights who were destroying his shadow soldier. Then he takes the action and easily kills the 3 of them, and leaves the last one trembled in fear. Then Jinwoo was about to fight her as well, and then he starts fighting with her, where he dodged all her attacks very easily, and then he broke her vibranium weapon like it was nothing, and then when he was about to kill her, she revealed her voice and said, "I surrender, please spare my life," where then Jinwoo removed her helmet, and we got to see her face. Then Jinwoo said, "You attacked us first, and now you're asking me to spare your life? And I also killed your comrade, so what is even left for you?" Where she replies that I was just doing my duty as a knight. And by seeing that disgust, Jinwoo just spared her once, but then she tried to stab him off guard, but he got protected by his artificial infinity. Where then Jinwoo asks Esil, "What are you doing?" But again, Esil asks for forgiveness, where Jinwoo thinks that it's just beyond disgust. Then Tusk uses his levitation technique on Esil, and then Jinwoo asks her, "Can you get me an entry permit for the next floor?" Where Esil says that we have one in my family's possession, and if you spare my life, I can hand it over to you, and also I know the locations of the rest of the permits too. Where then Jinwoo realizes the problem, that why wasn't be able to find it yet. Then Jinwoo says that it's a tempting offer, and then he leans towards her face, which makes her blush, but then he activates his aura and with a death stare he asks her, "Can I really trust you?" Where then in a terrified state she replies, "Of course, I'm not lying to you." Where then Jinwoo spared her life the second time and said, "As long as I can get the permit, I won't lay a hand on you." And then he also asks her, "Who are you guys?" But then the scene switches, and we get to see a giant mutant ant killing and eating humans, where then after his lunch it flies away. And then we get back to Demon Castle, where she introduced herself to Jinwoo and said that my name is Isil and I'm the eldest daughter of the Radaru family. But Jinwoo said, "That's not what I'm asking, and think about how I can get my answers from a monster about the system." But still he asks Isil, "Do you hear a voice inside your head telling you to kill humans?" Where she replies, "No, but we do hear a different command, where it says to protect the place we're in." And then Jinwoo asks, "Since when are you hearing these voices?" Where she says, "Since we got summoned here," which totally shocks Jinwoo. Where then he quickly asks, "Where were you before this?" Where he got to know that they belong from the demon realm. But one day when they came back to their senses, they found themselves here. Where then Jinwoo asks, "What were you doing in the demon realm?" But when she replied, the system tried to stop her, and it was very clear that her GPT's system was about to crash. Where, in a glitchy state, she replies that we were preparing for war against a terrifying enemy, which is so powerful that all the demons had to unite themselves to kill it. But then, while talking, she lost consciousness, cause of the system. Then the scene changes and we saw an urgent meeting in the Hunter Association, where they were talking about the recent mutant ant incident and tries to find solutions for it. Where then the Hunter Association's chairman Go commenced the 4th Jeju Island raid mission. After that, the switch is back to the Demon Castle, where Esil wakes up and finds out that she passed away a moment ago and Tusk was carrying Esil since then. Then Esil asks Jinwoo that you were worried about me? Where Jinwoo said, "Yeah, kinda." And it was clear that she was all rizzed up by our boy. Then we get a shot of her castle, where he met Esil's father and the king of Radis clan, who got all terrified by sensing Jinwoo's soldiers in his shadows, and in panic tries to threaten him by his soldiers. But Jinwoo said that, "I'm not here to fight, I just promised Esil that I'd leave this place if she hands me the entry permit." Where his father then realizes that he can't defeat him, and then he hands Jinwoo the entry permit of the 81st floor. Where then Jinwoo also asks her father that I'll be borrowing Esil for a while, because she knows the locations of the rest of the floor permits. But then asks Jinwoo that, "Will you guarantee my daughter's life?" Where Jinwoo replies with yes. Doesn't matter who it is a father, dude, nothing is stronger than a family. And then the scene changes again and we see a post-mortem of a mutant ant, where we saw the first appearance of the Japanese strongest S-rank hunter and the guildmaster of Asia's second largest guild, Goto Ryuji. Then the scene switches back and we saw Jinwoo clearing out the floors again, but Esil was taking out the gifts his father prepared for the chiefs of every higher noble demon clan so that we can negotiate with them and get the permit. But Jinwoo said, "If I was a weakling back then, would you have tried to negotiate with me?" Where Esil finds a point in it. And then Jinwoo said that I'll make the Radis clan the #1, where Esil thinks that it's Rajiru, not Radis. Then she asks him, "Why did you spare our family?" where Jinwoo replies, "Because I like you," which made her blush, while Jinwoo was still unaware of his riz and was thinking, why does it seem like I get along with airhead people a lot, where after that he tells Essel to go back to her father because he promised him for her safety. But she decides to go along with him because she wants to see what he can achieve. Then we saw some scenes of Jinwoo, Tank, and Egris eliminating the demons and clearing out the floors. And the scene changes, where we saw Choi and Chahae having a conversation, where they received info on the 4th Jeju Island raid mission, where every S-rank hunter of South Korea will participate in this raid, where Cha gets a little curious and thinks if Jinwoo will join the raid as well, and we also got to know that the hunters from Japan will take part in it as well. And then once again we got a tease of Goto Ryuji on a plane too, and after that the scene switches back to the demon castle, where we saw Jinwoo finally entering the 100th floor, and then we saw the arrival of a flying wyvern, and on top of that we saw the demon monarch Baran riding it with King Arthur's sword. And his aura was so overpowered that it even shivered down Essel to her bones, which made Jinwoo realize that he's beyond just strong. Then, Jinwoo saw that that wyvern was a non-demon beast, which was very unusual for it to be here. And then it took off, where then Baran summons many-dimensional purple gates, from which his demon army came out in the battlefield and surrounded Jinwoo and Essel in a circle, where then Jinwoo uses his Monarch's domain skill and summons his Shadow Soldier, where we saw Tank, Iron Egris, and Tusk in action, where instantly finish off half of the demon army, which totally amazed Essel, because she was stunned by Jinwoo's abilities. But she was all confused because this place is controlled by the Demon King Baran, and Jinwoo is an invader who needs to be eliminated, where she can't make up her mind to whose side she should take. Then we saw Baran using his lightning beam in the sky, which made the surroundings rain electricity, and it was about to hit Essel too, but Jinwoo managed to save her. And then Jinwoo thinks that if it keeps like this, I'll run out of mana in no time. And then he goes straight for Baran, but he fails to land a blow on him. And then with the brute force, Baran throws down Jinwoo and smacks him into the ground. He then attacks Jinwoo with his lightning beam, where Jinwoo quickly dodges it and uses Tusk to distract him, where Tusk uses his fire breathing, and with the use of Orb of Avarice, he overpowered his attack. It almost felt like I was watching Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla for some reason, probably because I'm dumb. But meanwhile, taking the opportunity, Jinwoo uses Egris and cuts the wyvern's head off. And that was brutal. Not actually. He didn't deserve that kind of death. Anyways, we get to see the beginning of the second round by Jinwoo pointing at Baran and saying, "Looking up was tiring me out. Yeah, we found the title baby." And then we saw Baran walking towards Jinwoo, which was menacing. Then the scene changes back to the Hunter Association, where we finally get to see Goto Ryuji, along with her translator. Because you know, they're from Japan and we are in South Korea. But here we speak Japanese, but still we do need a translator. So it's like that, alright? You get my point? You got it right? Then here we saw his meeting with Chairman Go, and we also saw Jin Chul sitting right next to him. In the meeting, they discussed about the upcoming Jeju Island raid mission, and where they found a solution to kill all the ants by just killing the queen, and the rest of the ants will die within a year by themselves. And also we got to know that 10 out of 11 Japanese S-rank hunters, including Goto Ryuji himself, will take part in this raid mission. And the number of S-ranks shocked them, and Goto said that we will act as a bait and lure the ants and draw them out. And taking that chance, the Korean hunters should kill the queen. Where Jinchul asks that, "Are you really planning to face those thousands of ants?" Where Goto replies that luring them out won't be an issue, and says even the AI shows this is the tactic with the highest success rate. No doubt we are living in 2025, guys. Where then Chairman Go accepts their offer and starts the mission's process. And here back in the Demon Castle, Baran uses his lightning beam and destroys Tusk. Then he kills Iron with his sword and then blasts away Egris like it was nothing. Then Jinwoo took the chance and tried to land a critical hit on him, but he failed. And then Baran grabbed Jinwoo from his head and tried to slice him with his sword, but Tusk stopped his attack. Then Jinwoo uses his daggers and stabbed his hand. And even Egris stabbed Baran's hand from below the ground. And then Iron garbs him to stop his movements and tries to do the same thing like he did with Baruka. But then Baran uses a strong shockwave which erased the Shadow Soldiers and blasted away Jinwoo and sets him free. And then we saw Baran using a new weapon, which was a pair of daggers, which must have felt like, now we are even, boy, and he was ready for a third round. where then the rain starts pouring out and they started fighting. Then we get to see an amazing battle between Jinwoo and Baran, and that was insane. So much insane that my eyes can't even follow it, and my craziness got double tapped. And without a doubt, it was the best episode of the entire anime series so far, and Baran again uses his lightning beam, by which Jinwoo loses his grip from his daggers and then gets attacked with the brute force by Baran. And then he was about to attack Jinwoo with his lightning beam once again. But then Esil took the step and threw her weapon at him, which distracted him, and then Jinwoo took the chance and used all his strength stats, along with the ruler's authority skill, and ripped off both of his arms. He then delivers a powerful punch to his jaw with all his strength, and the force of it was so immense that it causes his head to explode, killing him instantly. Now, that's what I call a jaw-breaking battle, and the impact of that punch was so powerful that it clears out the whole sky. And finally, he defeated the demon monarch Baran and extracted his soul. And now we are ready to craft the elixir of life. And then Jinwoo got all tired, and we saw Esil approaching towards him, where then he tells Esil to go back to her father and tell him that the Radis family is now the #1 clan. Where in happiness and tears she calls out his name and tells him that the name of my clan is Radiru. And the episode ended, and with this episode, we've finally finished the entire Demon Castle arc successfully. However, we're still left to see the aftermath of this battle, where Jinwoo will craft the elixir of life and cure his mother, which we'll see in next week's episode, and I'll cover the details of the next episode 9 in my next video. Until then, make sure to leave a like if you like my nonsense yapping, and subscribe if you're new here. And also comment down your favorite moment from the episode. And I'll see y'all in the next one.